All right, guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, February 1st. It's crazy. It's already been a month. But let's go ahead and get rolling. For any guests that we have on the line today, I would like to send a huge welcome to you. Thank you for being here. This is called Keep It Moving Group Coaching. We focus on the collective wisdom, sharing, contributing at the highest level, and bringing value to one another. So let's go ahead and get rolling. We have tons of people on the call today. I'm looking around the room. I want to see who is going to bring us out on the field. What we do for our guests on the line today is we have a team member bring the team out on the field. This is our haka dance. This is what we do to get ready for battle, whatever you want to call it. But I'm actually going to go over to, let's go over to Felisa. Felisa, you're here. You're here early, got your camera on. I want to turn the mic over to you and have you bring this beautiful team out on the field on this morning. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right. All right. So let's hear from you.
I don't do this part very often, so I'm gonna give it a try.
Just freestyle. Here's the thing: there's no wrong answers here. Just bring your team out on the field, get ready for game day.
Okay. I know it's chilly outside, but we're all starting off great here. We all woke up. We're having a good morning. We're getting this day started. We're all involved, and we're gonna keep it going.
That's right. That's right. Here's the thing, you guys, like showing up is half the battle. You guys made a choice to be here. So I want to make sure to make the best use of your guys' time. So Felisa, thank you for that. Thank you for being here. And thank you for always being willing to learn and grow at the highest level. Let me let a few more people in the room. And let's do this, you guys. I wanted to ask a quick question. You can either raise your hand or you can put your answers down below in the chat. And we're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about some things. I want everyone to leave here with 2 to 5 things that they could say to their consumers today once they get off this call. That's my commitment to everybody on this call today. So I wanted to ask, once again, raise your hand or put it in the chat below. How many of you have gone in and updated any of your automated drip campaigns, meaning that you have someone that's on a nurture campaign and maybe they're going to get something every 7 days, 14 days, whenever that happens, and your automation? Have you gone in and adjusted any of that messaging so far? Have you created a MailChimp that is addressing what is actually happening in our market currently? And have you gone in or gone and done a video about creating some urgency, like we've been talking about this window of opportunity getting smaller and smaller? Give me a raise of hands if you have done one of those or any of those in the past 2 weeks. Please just give me a raise of a hand or give me a reaction down below. Okay, cool. I see a few hands up, not too many hands up. Okay, Lauren, I see Nice, I see Nicole, I think Ophelia's hand is up. Okay, cool. So there's a huge opportunity for you guys, and I want to go through some data. Cynthia and I sat through the Op City Mastermind yesterday. It was a 2022 year in review meeting. I thought it was really, really powerful. Dan shared with us some stats and some figures based on consumer behavior over the last 2 weeks. And in case you missed that video, or if you were not sitting in that room yesterday, I want to share some information with you that is updated and it's current. Now, if you're in other markets, such as Southern California or other places in the country, obviously pull your own local data. But here's some stats and figures for you guys that I want to share with you. 47% of pending homes in the last 2 weeks, 47% of the homes over the last 2 weeks had multiple offers. Huge statistic. 30% increase in purchase applications over the last 2 weeks, 17% increase in tour requests since November, and the days on the market from 17, and they were down from 32 just 1 month ago. So what we're seeing is consumer behavior is on the rise in every single market that we have, that I've talked to people in California. Now, if you're in outlining areas, if you're in other states, I know that maybe sometimes takes a little bit longer to catch up to like the frenzy of California, but only based on that, what's happening in California. So here's what I want to do is I want to share some thoughts and I want to share some stats with you guys. And I want you to pull this information for yourself in your own market. This is a universal practice that you guys can do. And what you're going to find is you're going to find opportunities to go and knock on some doors. If you know that a particular community had 17 offers on one home, guess who's heartbroken? 16 other people that submitted their offer. So guess what you have is you have an opportunity. Mr. Jones, hi, I don't know if you know, but the house across the street, 123 Main Street, just sold and they had 17 offers at that home. And unfortunately, they could only accept one offer. So what does that mean? That means that there's 16 other families that are unfortunately heartbroken because they can't live in this community. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to the neighbors to ask, have you ever considered putting your home on the market? You guys, there's an opportunity there for you right now. Most of you say, you know what, I want to get listing opportunities. I want to develop my craft and I want to get into getting more listings. I'll tell you what, look at the data in your market and find those opportunities. And I'm going to share this with you right now. I've pulled all this up that way you guys can see it in real time. And all right. So what I did is I just ran comps in Oakland. Now you can run these comps for any market that you are serving. What I did is I ran comps and I did a price range of 750,000 to $1 million just to keep it very simple. I only did single family homes. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to share with you some of this data, that way you guys can see that and then you can pull your own. Now, what I did is I've categorized this, and I've categorized this by the number of offers. You can see here on this line over here. Let me just regroup. All right. On the far right side of my screen here, let me pull this more to the right. You'll see here, this is the amount of offers that was on each of those properties. And you can see here in the center, what was the list price and what was the sales price. You guys can see some glaring trends that are happening right now. When you look at this one that was sold recently, and let's just look at it together. So this house listed on my birthday, November 30th, it went pending 12/13, and it just closed on 1/5. Original list price was $989, and the sold price was $1,250. So when you look back here, you can see, well, damn, that house had 17 offers. This house had 13 offers. Original list price, $989, sold for $1,250. Let's go back to this one here. Let's go to 6 offers. 6 offers on this home here. Originally listed right before Christmas, 12/19 at 1.8. Actually sold a little under asking price at 1,825. However, as you can see here, multiple offers. So here's the opportunity for you guys. Pull the comps in your neighborhoods and see where are the hottest communities right now. Where are people writing offers and not getting accepted? And then you go in and do grassroots campaigns and find those listing opportunities. They're there for you guys. You just have to look at the data and say, okay, how can I take the data that is available for me from my MLS and go back in and say, you know what, I'm going to find some opportunities. I'm going to get accountability, homie, and we're going to go out and we're going to find opportunities to get new listings in these markets. You guys, we can go on and on through this data, but what I want you to see is I want you to see some drastic delta shifts here. 17525 to 1825. 1190 sold for 1340. Let's see this one. 1989 sold for 12. 899 sold for 1050. So you have all these opportunities that you're looking at. I want you guys to really get fine-tuned with the data, find the opportunities to go knock on doors and book for a listing appointment. Tony, before we go on, rapid fire from you. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I might have missed it. You might have already said it at the beginning, but how far back did you go, Elias?
I went only for the last 30 days, and I went Oakland. I did a price point of 750 to $1 million, and I only did closed.
Okay,
right? So I just did a really, really simple, just brass bones type of comps. Now you can get refined as you want with your comps. You can do neighborhood specific, but the point is I want you guys to see what's actually happening in the market right now. There is a giant shift. And if the message doesn't have some sense of urgency for the consumer, I believe that some consumers are unfortunately going to miss out. What I also want to share with you guys is if you go in to, and I'll show you how to get here in just a moment here. If you go into this, and I'll show you how to get here from the California Association of Realtors, or excuse me, from the Bay East Association of Realtors. Check this out. How's the market going? There was 363 homes closed per day in January. And there was 231 pending sales per day in January. And there was a total of 188 new listings just in January. So when you think about like, well, that person's super busy or that person, they're no different than you. The deals are happening all around us. You just have to find those opportunities. When we look down here at the bottom, it says what realtors think will happen. 23.5% of the realtors in the market in California believe that sales will go up, and I believe that as well. Sales will go up, prices will go up, and listings will be up over the next couple months. You guys, we are going to be entering the springtime. We're going to see an influx of buyers. So why I'm having this conversation with such enthusiasm and passion is I want you guys to get in front of this. I want you to create marketing, campaign pieces, videos that are addressing what is actually happening. Because I don't know about you guys. Cynthia and I sat in that session yesterday and I was like, all right, let's just do a video on that because it was really good data. Looking at this right here, there's some really, really good data points in here. You can use this as content, and then the context is you actually talking about what is actually happening. Some people will take this and put this weak ass shit on their wall and be like, call me if you ever have any real estate needs. That's weak. Here's the strength in this. You take this and you explain this in your own words and say, listen, if you have any questions, you want to set up a strategy call, I'm going to share with you how I get offers accepted in this competitive environment. So you leverage this not only as content, but to build context. So I wanted to share this with you. Also wanted to share some economic updates through, this is just Alameda County, but I want to share with you how to get to these things. Also, historical data, also Housing Matters podcast. These are all things as you're building your prowess, as you're building your information about the market, what's going on. These things are provided for you and they're free. And I'll show you how I pulled this up just so you know exactly how to get there. Even if you are not a member, you could go to the Bay East Association of Realtors, go here to Community Information, Real Estate, Housing, and Statistics. You can see all the past videos. We've talked about that before, but go down here, Housing Matters Podcast, Market Update, Marketing Minute, and you could pull this information out and look back at that graphic I just showed you, and then take that information for content, but then give it context for a consumer. Because here's the thing, we as real estate professionals understand this data, or at least you should have an understanding of how this data impacts us and affects the consumer. The consumers don't necessarily understand. So it is your job to simplify this and put it in a way that a fourth grader can understand, right? Here's the simple 1, 2, 3, ABC in order to get you to XYZ. That's your guys' responsibility and that is your opportunity. So you guys, we are seeing a shift. We are seeing things happen in our market. So I wanted to update you guys. I wanted to give you some resources, give you some places to go that way you can pull your own data. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to shift the conversation to you guys. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go around the room and I need at least 5 volunteers for this. I want you guys to share with me what is the sentiment, the conversation, and how you're articulating what is actually happening in the market and how you're building a sense of urgency. And if you have built a MailChimp, if you have built a recent video, if you have done something that is super, super dope to address the changes that are happening in the real estate market right now, I want you to share. I want you to grab the mic. I want you to share your screen, and I want you to give and contribute to the people in this room. So I need a minimum of 5 people to volunteer. If you don't volunteer, I'm probably just going to call on you and ask you the conversation. Tell me what's happening in your local market. So who would like to be the first person just to step up? There's no wrong answers here. This is about learning and growing together. Who would like to be the first person to step up and share their message to their consumer right now and how that shifted over the last 2 weeks? Going once, going twice. I knew it. Perfect. So Joellen, we'll go to you and then we'll go to Vernon next. And then you guys get yourself in the queue. I want to hear this. And this is how we learn and this is how we grow. So Joellen, look at that. Look at that. One person goes and all these other people. So
I feel like I'm always starting it off because I don't want to leave you hanging, Elias.
Hey, listen, if you leave me hanging, I'm still just going to call on somebody anyways. I'm just going to be like, hey, run the route, Colette, and the ball's going to be there in 5 yards. So let's hear it, Joellen. Let's go.
So what I've noticed up here in our area is that 13% of the new home buyers that come from the Bay Area. The minute that you guys start doing the over asking, you're pushing your Bay Area people out of your market up to my market. I have now a strategic plan and where I'm going to host my open houses. What I've found out is they start in El Dorado Hills, then they go to Folsom, and then some of them didn't even know about Cameron Park. I got 3 new buyers right now that are getting ready for property tours. I've already been sending them stuff and disclosures, and I got a couple of them to drive up to Cameron Park, which is only 9 minutes away from El Dorado Hills. So I had 16 groups at one open house. 6 couples were from the Bay Area. So what I'm telling them, and not only that, but I get to share my story that I came from the Bay Area, bought my house up here last year, 65,000 over asking, waive the contingencies, this and that. So I know what the agents up here are looking for, and I built relationships, yada, yada, right? But knowing the data that 13% of the home buyers up here are coming from the Bay Area, this is just rapidly growing. We only have 17 houses on the market, all that good stuff, guys.
I absolutely love this. So she's identified a pattern. She is strategically doing open houses as like a progressional step, closer to like Placerville, but like gradually taking them higher and higher. I absolutely love this. This is really, really good stuff. You guys check this out. I was doing a little, research, looking at your guys' stories. 27 offers on one home over the weekend, 30 offers on another home, 60 offers on a home in SoCal. Then they had 400 groups come in from Friday to Sunday night in just one weekend, you guys. So I'm thinking what I want you guys to do, and Kenny and I are going to make this really simple for you. We're going to start storing all of these things. Melissa Radke, Ophelia, Romel, Dominique, Rakitha all said that they had open houses that X amount of people. Now we're going to share that data with you so you have a prompt. That way you can just say, hey guys, I want to give you a quick update if you're looking for a home in Maxwell Park. There's 4 houses on the market, and over the last 4 days, those houses have seen X amount of people come through. So if you're thinking about listing your home in Maxwell Park, call me. Would love to talk to you about the strategy. There's so much opportunity that rests here in the data, you guys, but you have to leverage it. You have to learn from it. We'll come to you in a second, Jeff. We'll come to you, Colette, and then Vernon, what's going on, big dog? Give me an update, what you're seeing and how the sentiment is changing with your buyers.
Yes, man. I'm seeing the same thing that everybody else is seeing. It's just an increase in buyer demand and presence. And so I'm showing a lot of clients currently, right? And so when we're going to these open houses, they're either hella business cards on the countertop or I'm showing these properties, private showings, there's hella business cards or at the open house. It is so much traffic. Looks like it's a club on a Saturday night type situation. And so my message to them has been that there is a small window of opportunity. And I've been kind of conveying that through video and in-person conversations. Now the conversation is that window is closed, is closing and soon to be closed, right? So I've got a couple of clients who still need that seller credit negotiating tool. Well, that opportunity is closing faster and faster. But what still is open are the new builds, right? So working with a lot of the developers in the Solano County area, they've got a new build coming up in Vallejo off Columbus Parkway, and then they've got the One Lake community in Fairfield. They're still giving hella incentives, 30 to 50K to attract buyers now, right? So although one window is closing, there's still a window in terms of the new builds that are opening. And I'm just conveying that in person-to-person conversations, buyer consultations, video content, and I'm just giving it to them straight. That opportunity is for them to be at the advantages closing.
I love it. And you guys, here's what happens. And it's an unfortunate thing. You're out shopping with the consumer. The consumer says, I never want to see a new build, never want to see a new build. You don't hear from the consumer for 2 days. You tap in with the consumer, and what do they tell you? What do they tell you? Oh, we just got in a contract at so-and-so. Wait, what? You didn't even tell me? You guys, that happens all the time. So while you're out shopping in the market for a consumer, if there is a new build within 10 miles of where that person is looking, you sprinkle that in the mix. But like, listen, I know, Melissa, you said you didn't want to see new builds, but I at least want to take you over there. That way you can just explore and see what the benefits are, because you can literally design it from the ground up, literally. So include that in your flow, include that in your mix, because when you walk into a new build, you're like, what? And it's beautiful and it's pristine. Yeah, it sometimes lacks that historic charm that the Bay Area and, Sacramento offers. However, it is just turnkey and it's beautiful. We live in a new development, you guys. So sprinkle that in. Here's what also you have to recognize is that the way that you wrote the terms of your offer 2 months ago may start to change. Now, if you've been working with a consumer and they've been a little bit more tentative, they've been keeping all their contingencies, they've been playing it safe, now they might have to change their strategy. So the conversation about terms needs to start to shift as well, because the terms are going to start changing because you're going to start getting more competitive. So Vernon, really, really good point. Jeff Phillips, let's go over to you, big dog. Then we'll come to Colette and then we'll come to Will. And please raise your hand, somebody else, if you have any other contributions. Jeff.
Yes, sir. So I'm having basically two different type of conversations. One for people that are closer to the epicenter of the Bay Area, so like Hayward, San Francisco, Oakland, and then another one towards out in the Delta and out in the further. So what I have started to tell them is if you think about a rock and you throw a rock into the water, when it hits, the waves go out further. That's exactly what the market is doing right now. So what we're seeing in the market in the Hayward, East Bay area is eventually going to trickle out, just like Joellen just said. As people start to overpay or like have to get outbid there, they start moving further and further out, and then that becomes an avalanche and a momentum towards out here. So when I'm talking to my people out in the Delta, I'm like, hey, you know what? What I'm seeing is that I just lost a offer, 14 other offers on the table, no contingencies, escalation clause, cash buyer, over asking. We were at least competitive with that, but they were like, it didn't matter because as soon as you guys would have went to them, their escalation clause would have jumped up substantially. So when I hear substantially, that means there's a large chunk of money still left over for them to push that offer all the way up. So I'm having two different conversations right now, but just letting them know that what we're seeing in the Hayward, Oakland area is eventually going to trickle out just like it did last time. It's a repetition, a market follows itself. So these comps are going to start playing catch up, and we want to get in early before we have to start waiving our contingencies. Now, for my clients that are in the East Bay and in there, I'm not letting them stop their fight. I am your boxing coach. I'm sitting you down. I'm wiping your brow off. I'm giving you more water. I'm telling you to punch, jab. I'm changing our strategy as we're going into each round so that we do find that knockout punch and we get you into your home, but you are going to stay in this fight. I promise you, but stay with me. We're going to get there. So that's the conversation I had to have with my clients yesterday. They were fired up. They were like, let's go. All right, what's the next one that we're going to look at? But I was like, houses will continue to come on the market. Our strategy will have to adjust as they come though.
I mean, beautiful and well said. You guys, welcome to coaching, right? Welcome to coaching for consumers. They're looking to you as the authoritative person, as the doctor, as the lawyer, that words are gospel when you guys say it. So it's our responsibility to really help them navigate through this, advocate through them, this, educate for them. And that's really powerful. If you guys don't have words that come out like that flow, that coaching for your consumers, I would practice that, and I would grab an accountability homie and I would practice that and practice that and practice that, because you guys are an ad campaign. The seasons change and so does your messaging. So as the tides shift, you have a different message that attracts the masses based on what's happening in the times. So you're constantly looking for ways to articulate the changes, the differences, the terms, and that's something that you always have to practice. So Jeff, really good job. Colette, let's go over to you. Sentiment, expressions, what you're talking with your consumers about right now that the market is starting to change.
Well, I just put a video out yesterday. I was on my way to Richmond to meet up with some buyers. I'd showed them about good 20, 25 houses. Okay, we finally found something out in Richmond. So prices have been down close to 10% around Oakland over the last year over year. So you know that's the house that we're in contract on now in Richmond, the seller just paid $100,000 more last year. Okay, and they have to be relocated, so they're moving jobs and whatever. So they just took a fat L on that, and we got a deal. So we are sneaking in before that window closes all the way to get a beautiful remodeled 3-bedroom 2-bath house, 1,600 square feet, gorgeous. Where that would not have happened. That would not have happened 4 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever. It just wasn't happening. So I'm just hammering home that the window is closing. We're coming back. Open houses are picking up. More buyers are coming out. That's higher competition and price. So get in while the getting's good and hurry up.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And so last year you said that they paid $100,000 more for that home. So you still got to, here's the thing, you guys should be listening to that and be like, how can I take that third-party story and turn it into a cool video? Like, I'm already hearing a hook there. I'm already hearing something that you can share. I'm going to share a story with you guys. People, consumers love stories. Colette, I thought that was really good, powerful. Thank you for the contribution. Will, let's hear from you, big dog. Sentiment. What have you changed? How have you changed it? Is it part of your drip campaigns, your MailChimp? Like, what is the messaging right now to your consumers?
Well, the messaging to my consumers, especially in Tahoe, is, I live up in North Shore. So anywhere from Westlake all the way up to Kings Beach, where the Nevada line is that values are actually not falling here. I did an analysis on that. However, home sales have fallen through the floor, right? So reinforcing to people, and there are some overbuilt properties that have lost value, but the market average is that it has not. Like, here's one data point, right? So we'll take the Tahoe Sierra MLS in total, which encompasses that entire area up to Truckee, right? Single family homes sold decreased 19% year over year. That's significant. Median price increased 7% year over year and is on a 7-year growth trend. Sales volume reached an 8-year low. Median price reached a historic high. 210 of 903 homes, which is 23%, sold over 2 million. So it's not totally doom and gloom. Your average property up here is maintaining value. We're in a position of short inventory on the market. And up here, it's a little different of a market, right? So there are still investors that want to buy. There are 600 short-term rental permits available in Placer County. What does that mean for you, Elias, as one of my buyers? Of course, you've heard everybody pound into your head that you have opportunity to buy right now, more rate credits. You can make more aggressive offers on your property. But there are 600 permits all time that are ever going to be issued in Placer County out of 3,900 that were set 2 years ago. Once those 600 permits are gone, they are gone. Would you like to vacation in Tahoe on the most gorgeous, pristine side of the lake with no cloudy water and have other people pay for your home for the rest of your ownership of it and have equity gain in a rising market and be able to have your pick of time to come up here and it not cost you anything? Would you like to have that cash flow go back and pump into your PITI payment on your owner occupied home in the Bay Area to offset your costs simply by moving money from one place to another?
I'd be open to that.
Let's
I
rock.
think I'd be open
And
to
if
that.
you're not ready to do it, refer me a friend, because I've got a great asset right now that'll provide an $1,800 a month cash flow situation to ease your life and make your vacations a lot easier.
I mean, here's the thing, you guys. It's no surprise that Will is, top producer for this last year. It's a one thing to digest the information, read the information, comprehend the information, but can you relay that information in a way that says, wow, like there is some opportunities. Like, we need to help people find a good investment. And he's articulated that very, very well. So, Will, I love it. I love it. You're constantly up on game. Let's hear from 2 other people. Melissa Radke, I'd like to hear from you because you're in a different market. You represent the peninsula. So we're kind of getting a variation. We got the East Bay, we got Jeff out in East Contra Costa County, we got Tahoe. And now let's hear from the peninsula. I'd like to hear, like, what are some things that you're seeing and the sentiment that you're having with your buyers right now?
Well, and last week, I wanted to kind of have like a, what's going on, like a check-in. So I pulled data from the first 25 days in January this year versus last year, because sometimes it's like, well, what do I want to talk about? Like, you have to look and see what the numbers are saying, right? So the median closed sales price was about the same for San Mateo City. It was 1.75 versus 1.77 last year, but people were paying 11% over asking last year. And right now, houses are closing for 4% under. So, and as we know, right, so inventory right now is 4.1 months of inventory. Last year, it was 0.8 for the same 3 weeks. Sorry, I don't know why my voice is cracking. I always get nervous.
Okay, you're doing really good. We're dialed in.
But, it's like, there are a couple of buyers that are just, people are kind of like, it's like they're slowly coming out of their like winter slumber. And I'm like, this is your chance. This is like the do-over chance that, people that felt like they missed out over the last few years because housing prices got so crazy high. It's like, they're the same price as the last 2 years, and you have opportunity right now. But as we've seen, 28% of mortgage applications over the last week go up. This is it. Once that spring market hits, I'm convinced we're going to see prices rise again and multiple offers here.
I love it, Melissa. And how are you, what's the most effective resource for you to pull your data and pull your numbers?
I always kind of just pull all the numbers I can see. So I just go into MLS listing. So I just do I was doing bigger areas, but then I wanted to kind of get granular and just do San Francisco proper or San Mateo proper.
I love it. You guys, people need you to be an expert. People need you to be that CPA, that lawyer, that doctor, that dentist that really, really understands, right? Because if I talk to Melissa, I'm not going to question her because I feel that she has a really good understanding. She's an expert in our market. You don't question your doctors, you don't question your dentist. Like, oh, okay, let me get my knee fixed. Rakitha, you had your hand up. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, so I've been in real estate for just at a year. And just in this year, it's been like a roller coaster. I've seen the sellers were winning, multiple offers, everything over asking price. And then we experienced this shift and I got excited. I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity to really get into these buyers. And I'm letting them know, now is your time. You hold the cards. You hold the power to ask for, different incentives, different seller credits. But I didn't expect that window of opportunity to be so short. So now I had a buyer I've been working with for 5 months. So I'm like, you hear what I'm telling you, you see the market reports that I'm sending you, and now we're going to these open houses. Pay attention to what you're seeing. There's no standing room. There's so many people in here. So start looking at when we're at these open houses, time is of the essence. So not only am I showing you the numbers, you can physically see, you can actually see. So I'm trying to create a sense of urgency without being pushy. So that's where I'm at with it right now.
I think that's really, really powerful. Let them see for themselves, what is actually happening. And think about those. Let's just think about, remember 2020, pandemic hit in March. And at first, everyone said that, or the state said that we are non-essential. Remember that time where they closed real estate down? I think it was 30, 45 days. They said we were not essential. So at that time, nobody was buying homes in that first couple of months because, the pandemic. Well, then now, once they released us back into the wild, now everyone started buying homes. And then everyone started buying homes. Remember what Sean said last week, that those 2 years, the end of 2020 and 2021 was the year of FOMO. I don't want to miss out. I believe that there's a frenzy. And so people were buying and crazy bidding wars and so on and so forth. And then what do we see towards the end of last year is that fear of making a mistake. Well, fear of making a mistake, I don't know, interest rates are too high. Well, now what's happening is that the psychology of a buyer is shifting again. That, oh my God, I don't want to miss out. There's a sense of urgency. There's going to be more people in the spring. Are we going to be able to get a house? And I don't want to miss out again. So you guys, you have to be able to help them manage their psychology because they're going through so many different emotions. And as the market changes, and it changed in a dime, you guys have to make sure to be able to articulate this well to your consumers. So Rakitha, I love that analogy and I love letting them see it for themselves. Zakia, let's hear from you and then we're going to go full circle on this conversation.
One thing that I did last week was for my buyers, I'm in the Sacramento area and I'm fairly new, so I have a lot of buyer clients that are lease clients. I made a high note presentation of all the properties that's available on the market. What I have realized too was condos. So these are new first-time home buyers who don't really have good credit and they only getting approved for $200,000. What I noticed that now there were 20 condos on the market that was available. So what I did is put it in a high note presentation and I told them with this opportunity, not only, you can get pre-approved for that $200,000. What you should do is purchase a condo. And then that way you can rent it out. And now instead of having that one income, you have two incomes. So next time we want to qualify for that dream home, now you have more incomes and you'll be able to get approved for a higher purchasing price because now you have two incomes. Don't throw away the opportunity just because of $200,000. I know you might not want a house in that range, but this is how you're going to get there by building up those doors. You want to have as many doors as income as you can. So I gave them an opportunity, not just, that's $200,000, I can't purchase nothing. No, make an income property so that way you could purchase something in a year or two. And that was what I did.
I absolutely love it, Zakia. What a really, really smart approach. Let's look at this one more time, you guys. I want you guys to look at this, and I want you guys to say, okay, pull this up in your market. Here's a challenge. Here's some homework for today, right? Some of you will, some of you won't. This is up to you guys. Now, I would, if it was me, I would take this price point because I like that price point, 125. I'm cool with that. I would see, okay, let's go here. All right, title representative. Hey, listen, this house just sold for X amount. It's on Astor Street in Oakland. I want you to pull all the houses on that street. I want, let's say 100 houses in that neighborhood, that street, that have been in that house 20 years or more, have positive equity. And I'm going to start going and letting the consumers know what's actually happening in their neighborhood. This is a great message. This is a great update. This is a great door knock. I would be looking, you guys, for the opportunities. Run your data, run your comps, and say, where are the hottest markets right now? And that's where I would launch my campaigns, and I would go to bring awareness. Because here's the thing, you might stoke somebody because they don't follow the market like we follow the market. And then you knock on the door and say, hey, there's an opportunity for homes in this area. We had 16 offers on that home. And as you know, they can only accept one. So now we have 15 other families that are brokenhearted because they can't live in this area. Wanted to ask you, Mr. Johnson, have you ever considered selling your home, seeing as you've been here for 22 years? Have you ever considered putting your home on the market? Sometimes they just need that conversation. And if anything, it's at least a conversation for you to educate them on what they could potentially sell their house for. You guys, there's people in Oakland that purchased a house 20 years ago for $200,000 that are sitting on $1.5 million. Maybe they don't need that house anymore. Maybe they want to live in Arizona with their grandbabies. We don't know their situation, but here you are as that saving grace just because you did your homework and you did some door knocking and you did some education. That's where you're going to find the biggest opportunities. Build. That message needs to be in your emails. That message needs to be in your follow-up. That message needs to be in your MailChimp. And that message needs to be vocalized on social media, because you guys, that window is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Anybody else have any other contributions on this conversation? And Tiger, I agree, my man. He said that this has been a great session. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Dominique, let's hear from you. We'll go to Cynthia and then we'll go to Sil. Dominique, what's your contribution?
I would say what had helped my last listing presentation was I put the amount of demand and how much the homes in that specific community were have decreased in the amount of actives, and I put it on a graph because as an appraiser, I use graphs to put in my appraisal reports. So what I did was I created my own graph for her, and I put it inside of the listing presentation because she was scared that her.
Hold on really quick. I'm sure people are shaking their heads. Yeah, can you just show us this graph?
Sure. So I don't have that specific graph up, but however, I have an appraisal up right now that I'm working on, and so I have these graphs. If I've never shared my screen, so bear with me.
It's all good. I give you share screen rights down below. You're going to see the little green arrow.
Do you see?
There you go. Yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah, we see it now.
Perfect. So what I do is I pull my numbers, and this is all from the MLS, right? And so what I do is I put it on an Excel sheet, and I pay for a program that I put the Excel sheet in there, and it brings up all these graphs for me, and I tell the graphs what I want. So this is basically telling me that over the last I do 12 months, sometimes I do 18, 24. Over the last 12 months, the prices have the sale prices have decreased 1.6%, and that's how I make my adjustments. However, if I go down here, it's telling me that the sales per month have decreased. So what I basically showed her on hers was, this isn't hers, but what I basically showed her was that there is demand because there's not that much inventory in her community. And so she liked that a lot because she's like, okay, I don't want to be on with other competition. So when I showed her that, she was like, okay, then let's do it. Let's sign a listing agreement and let's go. So what these graphs did was give her a number of, and this is like days on the market. It's a really good, and then this is days on the market with the active. So this showed that these are decreasing. The days on the market are decreasing. That was also something that I showed her in her market as well. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Wow. All right. So I love it. I think we should probably do a whole workshop on this because this is great.
How do I go back? Sorry.
Let's go.
Okay, stop share.
Yeah, stop share.
Okay, so we're talking a lot about buyers and stuff, but also too, like giving the sellers the graphs and the numbers, like letting them know your house can sell because inventory is like decreasing as of right now. You're not up against a lot of other people that are coming in to sell. And so she really liked that. And I think that putting the graphs into your listing presentation specifically for their house also gives them like, okay, they're doing the footwork for me. So I like them. I like what they have to offer, and they've actually started doing work before I even sign a listing agreement. So,
God, I love this. This is powerful. Dominique, thank you so much. Cynthia, let's hear from you. What's your contribution? And really great job. Thank you for showing your screen.
God, that was amazing. I
Right.
really hope that we can do a seminar or something on that, like a 30-minute sit down on that. That was awesome. I just wanted to share really quickly with the newer agents on the team that have advisors. There might be 3 or 4 different sample RPAs that you guys can write up for your advisors and have your advisors review your RPAs, because the last thing we want you guys to do is to go out, get clients excited, but then when it comes to the offer time, you're like, shit, I don't even know what Zip Forms is. So open up Zip Forms, get used to writing these offers over and over and over again. That way you can become like Will, like Joe Ellen, where they're just spitting, and like Jeff with the ripple thing. I'm like, Jesus, I'm using that all the time now. So you leverage the team and write up practice offers with your advisors. That's what they're there to help you with.
I love it. I love it. And going back to that expression, like I'm just thinking, like, it's so simple. 4th grade level, you can understand. I throw this rock, it creates a ripple. Where does that ripple go? It goes further out. Okay, cool. That's simple. I understand that. So Jeff articulated in the way that all of us as adults could understand, but somebody that's brand new in this, in the market can understand. So it's really good. I'm glad that you said that again. Sylvia, let's hear from you. Contribution, then we're going to come full circle in this conversation.
What you said earlier, it was truth. I always tell a story when I talk. That's just what I do. I'm a writer, and writing is my forte. So I always tell a story. I always use myself. So I'm not telling somebody else's business. I tell my own business. And what you said earlier about somebody buying a house 20 years ago and it's worth a lot now, that is the absolute truth. I bought my house in 1996, November 1996, for $130,000. There were 5 offers on the table. I slid in and got it for 130. And they actually told me that 5 counters had gone out and one of them had been agreed to, but this was back in the day where you had to get the offer to the agent, and they had not gotten it to the agent physically. So they took my offer. So somebody was sad, but oh well. But what I just wanted to say all of that to say this: I bought my house I closed November 96. I ran the comps on my house. So it's been 26 years because I was pregnant with my daughter. She's 25. It's been 26 years. My house is now worth 1.2 million. So, and it's just a basic 3-bedroom house in a working class neighborhood, But yeah, I bought it for 130 and it's now worth $1.2 million, which is unbelievable. And that 26 years went by so quickly. So yeah, and I tell people that because, like I said, that's my business. That's my personal, how much I paid for it. So I always use me and tell people, and it kind of brings things into perspective and brings it home.
God, I absolutely love this. And there's a big sheesh coming after that. But here's the point, you guys. Like, imagine this. And I just pulled it while she was speaking. Imagine this. Imagine purchasing a house in Alameda, in Alameda for $550,000. This is in 2010, right? Like imagine getting a beautiful house in Alameda for $555,000. That is crazy. That is crazy bananas to even think about that. You guys could pull, just for fun, you guys can go back and pull any historical data. Like, I can go back as far as I want, and I can say, all right, in August of this year, San Leandro, $335,000 in 2004 to purchase a home in San Leandro. You see San Lorenzo, Castro Valley, Hayward, August, $342,000. Like, so it's just incredible when you are looking at it yourself to look at trends and patterns and so on and so forth. Also, while we're talking, you guys, I had ChatGPT write an article, and it was headlined, write an article displaying urgency in the changing real estate market. And they wrote all of this for me. Now, some of the stuff is relevant, some of it is not, and I could change the description. But if you're looking for things to say, to include, to maybe take phrases out of that and put into your newsletter, or use sentences in that you can use on a video, shit, they just created this in less than 10 seconds while we were having this conversation while Sylvia was talking. So you guys, like, find the ways to gather information to make sure that you are always coming across as the expert and as the doctor in your field. So let's do this, you guys. Let's go around the room. I want to hear from you. Key takeaways from today's session. Can I get a thumbs up if you thought today was a really, really good session? I'm just going to raise my hand, but I'm biased because all right, cool. Ophelia Vargas, let's go to you. Key takeaways from our time together today, if I can hear from you.
Hi, good morning. So my key takeaway was definitely that chart, Dominique. That was fire. That was good because it's so visual, and at times we can spit so much word and people will get lost, but when you see it right there in your face and you can point to it, it just speaks volumes. And the social media as well, continuing to push out that urgency. So I've taken videos and send those small clips to my buyers to let them know, hey guys, that window is so ready to shut. Like, you guys, we're really we're running out of time. So this whole session was awesome. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Let's go over to Andrew. Andrew, for you, key takeaways from our time together today. Andrew Lynn.
Yeah, I mean, I think things are starting to pick up. I know from my listing this past weekend, got like a few offers. And I know for my buyers as well too, things are picking up. We're having to compete a little bit harder and right above asking, not be able to ask for as much concessions. I know for my listing, at least, my sellers ended up accepting an offer with no concessions. And it was above asking too. So things are changing rapidly, and definitely I'm trying to urge my buyers to get out there and find, there are some properties out there that are still like those like little like hidden gems or whatnot. Like, I just got an escrow on one where the sellers needed like 60 days of escrow. And so we gave it to them and they accepted our offer and gave us concessions as well too. So there's still some opportunities out there. It's just finding those right ones and making sure your buyers are prepared.
Love it. I absolutely love it. You guys, here's a great thing, and here's just a recommendation. When you guys are creating your MailChimp, your newsletters, so I have a newsletter that goes out every single week. And now what we've started to do, and there's your beautiful face, Cynthia, there's your beautiful face, Will, there's Daniela. But the point is that if you make a video that you feel a consumer needs to watch, then you can just embed this into your MailChimp. So that way that video takes them right back to the video that you created on social. And now what are you doing? Is you're driving people back to your Instagram. You're driving more engagement back to your Instagram because you've already created that video. So there's a way for you to take that one video and put into the newsletter to reach an even different audience that is getting your newsletter. So just a food for thought for you guys as you're building out your MailChimp. Let's go to Maria Dominguez, and then we'll come over to Romel, and then we'll end our session. Maria Dominguez, key takeaways from our time together today.
Presenting data in very, like you said, in very simple English language. I think that a lot of the buyers that I've been working with, they're still scared and they're hearing all the sensationalism in the news. And so we have to take what they are hearing and we need to bring it back to reality, and data tells them that, but also, like everyone's talking about, stories are I can talk this morning. Stories are how we get the point across to them, because it really is not about us. Like you said earlier, we don't question our doctors or our attorneys. And yet I find that a lot of consumers will question a realtor because, we don't know what's happening. And we have to really tell them, no, we are in the market every day. We're talking to people every day. We're going to coaching sessions 3 times a week. We have all this data, but data means nothing if you're like me, a high I, you could really care less. You'd be like, where's the party at? But so a story, well, you know that's true, Elias. But I mean, a story really speaks to it. So it also goes, okay, let me back up. It also is important to know who you're talking to. Like data for me means nothing. Like I'm a high I. Now, if I were an S or a C, and that's the DISC personality for those that don't know, an S or a C person would totally get that. But really, you have to create the information to pass on to your consumers. So basically, know who you're talking to.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Where's the party? You're cracking me up. Here's the thing. I'm a
people person.
I know you are. I'm gonna go to Cam in a minute, but seeing as we're ending, we just ended January. If you guys can do a quick audit for me, I want you to go back from January and I want you to count how many videos are actually on your wall for the first month of this year. Put that number down below and do that really quick for me. Go in, do a quick audit, count how many videos you've created thus far this year. Cam, what's your contribution?
So what I have, this is a part takeaway and part comment. What I'm hearing from everyone is data. And what I realize is the data that we know about is still pending. And the data that the news reports have is non-existent yet. I have a client who keeps telling me that I don't believe you that the prices are going to go up. I still think they're going to come down. And I told him, I said, look, I hear you and I understand. And if I was in your shoes, I would probably think the same thing if I'm looking at news reports and data. But we're sitting in the market. We are the ones we're the ones who help create the data for the news reports to then post. And so if we're out here giving you information, it's ideal to listen to it. So what Dominique shared with the graphs, I think when it comes to clients like that who just aren't compelled by words, we have to literally show them the data and pull numbers and put it in terms in which they go, oh, okay. Like when we had 400 people at open houses and 60 offers, I texted him immediately and I was like, another weekly update, just so you know, the same pattern I've been telling you the past 2 weeks is still happening. And then you have clients like one of my other clients who planned to buy in May and they came to me 6 months early. And because of what's happening and they listened to me, we're now writing offers right now. So it makes a huge difference, like just communicating it. And you're not annoying. If you think you're annoying for talking to your clients about this, you're not. This is our job. If you're not educating your clients, what are you doing? Because we are educators. Yeah, we work the market, but we're educators. And if you're not sitting and explaining to your clients what is happening, then in my personal belief, you are not executing your job in the way you should be.
I love this. You guys, we're two things in this business. We're a leader and we're a teacher. Go out there and lead, go out there and teach. You have a platform that you have the ability to do so. If your numbers are low on this, what you just put in there, then change that, you guys. Like there's no reason why you shouldn't be sitting there creating 3 videos a week. They don't have to be perfect. And while we're on this call, you guys, I made a stupid video about what Kai says or what kids are saying. And like, this is the engagement from that stupid video that I posted 10 minutes before we got on to coaching. So the point is, you guys, that has nothing to do about real estate, but guess what? Getting people to engage. That's all I'm asking for. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, you guys. Keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Go out there and make something happen. If you're going to be in Walnut Creek today, I will see you guys there in just a little bit of time. So have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you all for your amazing contributions today. This shit was fire. So peace. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you, Elias.
Thank you.